Hey everyone, get this. Meta just unveiled its latest project and whoa, it's a big one.
It really is something else.
They're calling it Orion and they're saying it's the most advanced augmented reality glasses ever.
Yeah. Most advanced definitely caught my eye.
Right. So we're diving deep into Meta's, official announcement today. We really want to uncover what makes Orion different, right, from all the other AR glasses we've seen.
Well, and that's the key question, isn't it? Because we've seen companies try this before. What's really interesting to me here is that Meta, they're not just trying to create, like, another cool gadget.
Right.
It seems like they're aiming to change how we interact with technology entirely.
Because let's face it, scrolling through our phones all day, every day,
Yeah.
not really cutting it anymore.
It's demanding all of our attention, right?
Yeah.
You're forced to choose between, like, what's happening in the digital world, what's
Wow.
happening in the physical world. And Meta wants to bridge that gap with Orion.
Okay, so no more like squinting at tiny screens.
Hopefully not.
Tell me more about how these glasses even work.
So imagine this, you're walking down the street, and instead of, pulling out your phone, checking directions, you see holographic arrows. They're projected right onto the glasses, guiding you along.
No way.
Orion aims to create these immersive digital experiences, and they just blend seamlessly with your surroundings.
So we're not just talking about like a simple heads-up display here, right? We're talking holographic displays.
We're talking about, light being projected in a way that makes it seem like 3D objects are floating in front of you. Yeah. So think looking at a restaurant, seeing their menu appear right before your eyes,
Wow.
or maybe you're shopping for shoes, you get a glimpse of a 3D model, like right there in the store.
Okay, now that's what I'm talking about. It's like something out of like a sci-fi movie.
It really is.
But how is this different from something like the Ray-Ban Meta glasses?
Good point, because those were interesting. The Ray-Ban Meta glasses, they were a good first step.
Right.
You got that hands-free digital access, but you weren't getting that immersive display, right?
Right.
Orion's trying to do both. So it's combining that hands-free convenience, but then they're adding the large holographic displays. So it's a much more, I think, powerful and versatile device.
So cramming all that tech into a sleek pair of glasses, that sounds like a Herculean task.
Oh, absolutely.
Didn't Meta themselves say that this project was a long shot at first?
They did. They gave it, get this, less than a 10% chance of success.
Wow.
Because think about it. You're miniaturizing powerful processors, high-res displays, all those sensitive sensors, and it still has to be lightweight and comfortable enough to wear.
Right.
That's not easy.
It really makes you appreciate, all the engineering that had to go into something like this. So what were the big hurdles? What they have to overcome to even make this possible?
Well, the miniaturization itself,
Yeah.
that's huge. We're talking about components that are like smaller than a grain of sand.
What?
Meta had to develop completely new manufacturing techniques to even make this work.
Wow, that's mind-blowing. Okay, so tiny components, check. What else makes Orion, special?
So another thing is the field of view.
Okay.
It's actually the largest field of view we've seen in AR glasses this small, which is really important when you're trying to create that immersive experience, right?
So you're not just seeing like a tiny window into this digital world. It's like you're stepping into it.
Exactly. And just as important, they kept those lenses transparent,
Okay.
which is huge for social interaction.
Oh, that's a good point.
Remember Google Glass?
Yeah.
One of the reasons it totally flopped.
Yeah.
People felt uncomfortable because you can see the wearer's eyes.
Right. Nobody wants to have a conversation with someone who looks like they're staring right through you.
It's creepy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Orion solves that, they're allowing you to have that natural eye contact, which again, super important if people are actually going to use this.
Mm. It's true. It's true. So it sounds like they've thought of everything, but we got to be real, right? This is still just a prototype.
It is. It is.
What can you actually do with it besides look incredibly cool, obviously?
Well, you can't walk into a store right now and just, buy a pair of Orion glasses.
Oh, okay.
But I wouldn't call it just a proof of concept, right? It's actually one of the most polished prototypes I think I've ever seen from Meta, which to me says that they're serious about this.
Okay, so it's like a taste of the future. So
Right.
spill the beans. What can this prototype actually do?
Well, remember those contextual AI-powered experiences we were talking about? So imagine this. You're in your kitchen, you're looking through your fridge, you're trying to figure out what to make for dinner.
Yeah.
Orion can recognize what ingredients you have
Yeah.
and then suggest a recipe, and it'll project it right there on your countertop.
Oh, that's really cool.
No more like trying to scroll through your phone with like messy hands.
Yeah, exactly.
What else? And then, of course, there's, that communication aspect. Seamless communication with all your favorite, Meta apps. So make video calls, send messages on WhatsApp or Messenger, all hands-free. But here's where it gets really interesting. They're being kind of tight-lipped about the specifics,
Okay.
but they have said that they're working on developing immersive social experiences designed specifically for Orion.
Okay, now you've got my attention. So we're talking shared virtual spaces,
Mhm.
holographic games. I mean, the possibilities are really endless.
That's what Meta's hoping for.
I love it. Okay, and this is a big but, we can't buy these glasses yet.
Not yet, no. It's still very much in development.
Okay.
But, this is a deliberate strategy for Meta.
Yeah.
They're using this time to do internal testing, get feedback, and just, really refine the technology before they release it to the public.
So they're playing the long game.
Exactly.
Okay. And they still have hurdles to overcome, I imagine?
They do. They do.
Like what are they focusing on for the consumer version of this?
Well, display quality is a big one. They're always trying to, make the display sharper, more realistic. Nobody wants to watch like a blurry movie.
Right, exactly.
And then they also want to make the form factor even smaller, if you can believe that.
Right.
These are already the smallest AR glasses we've seen that could do all this. But they're saying, no, we want to make them even smaller.
Trying to make it even smaller, that just seems almost impossible at this point.
I know.
But I see why, because the closer these get to looking and feeling like a regular pair of glasses, the more likely people are to actually wear them, right?
Exactly. That's what they want. They want that seamless integration into everyday life.
This all sounds very cool, but what about the price tag? I mean, this is a lot of cutting-edge technology we're talking about.
Yeah.
It can't be cheap. Speaking of making this technology accessible, the million-dollar question for many is, how much will Orion cost? That's the million-dollar question, right? Has Meta said anything, like given us any hints about how much Orion's going to cost?
They haven't said like anything specific yet, but they keep saying affordability is a top priority. So,
Right.
they're definitely thinking about it. And they've mentioned exploring ways to, scale up production,
Yeah.
which would help bring the cost down.
Yeah, makes sense, right? The more they can make, the cheaper it is to, make each one.
Exactly.
It reminds me of like the early days of smartphones, right? Remember how expensive those were at first?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like ridiculously
Say
expensive.
now, I mean, everyone has one.
Everyone, yeah. It seems like Meta's kind of following a similar, playbook here.
Yeah.
Innovation first, then figure out how to get it into the hands of, well, everyone.
Okay, so stepping back, from all the techie stuff for a second, what does this all mean? Like for the average person, why should someone who's not, a tech enthusiast be paying attention to Orion?
That's a good question. I think it gives us a glimpse into the future of how we might interact with technology.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a step toward a world where, tech kind of fades into the background.
Right.
It's not demanding your attention all the time. It's just there when you need it.
It's interesting you say that, because as much as I love my phone, a future where like tech is less intrusive, honestly, sounds kind of nice.
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
Yeah, for sure. So to wrap things up, what's like the one big takeaway? What do you hope people, listening walk away thinking about?
I'd say, remember that the line between, the digital world and the physical world, it's getting really blurry. And Orion's a perfect example of that. This technology, I mean, it could change everything. How we work, how we talk to each other, even just how we, experience the world around us. It's a really interesting time to be paying attention to all this.
Absolutely. It's not every day we get to talk about technology that could fundamentally change how we live.
I know, right?
Well, this has been quite the deep dive, I would say, into the world of augmented reality and Meta's Orion glasses.
It really has. Thanks for having me. I always enjoy these conversations.
And a huge thank you to you, the listeners, for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.